Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. AJAX can actually be very useful in the Wall Crasher fight. Nexon, well, they weren't wrong, but they just didn't know that they weren't wrong. So let's get on into this, because AJAX can actually defense strip crash out on the Wall Crasher. He can rip this man's defense to literally nothing. Let's get on into the build. Starting off with the build, for the maneuvering module, we are going to be going with mid-air maneuvering, just so we can get around a little bit faster. Simple stuff with AJAX. For our red module, we are going to be going with body enhancement, and this is because this is going to be a build very heavily centered around defense. So because we are going with defense, we are going to be using increased defense, of course, and then we are also going to be using shield conversion into defense, and then we are also going to finish this one off with spear and oh, never mind, cooked, wrong one. Where's it? My brain is turned off. Agony, there you go. Agony, that's what's going to help us there. Agony is going to be our final module for 38.5% defense. So we're already off to a crazy start with this setup, but it gets better. We want to max out our cooldown next so that we can spam abilities. It may not sound important now, I promise you it's going to be important. So we're going to go with MP conversion, and we're also going to go with nimble fingers. We're primarily going to be jumping with AJAX. It's going to be very similar to a jumping build, so you're going to want to go with focus on tech, and then also focus on non-attribute. So yeah, focus on non-attribute, focus on tech will be what you want for this setup. Now there's one or two more modules left. We're going to go with a little bit of HP, and with HP we're going to be using HP amplification. This is fairly good, you know, just additional HP for survivability purposes. And then we are going to go with skill extension. So this is going to be so our, you know, our jump actually reaches the range, which is going to be the main thing. And then we're finishing this all off with maximize conservation for spamming the ability. The damage in this setup doesn't really matter, so we're just going for the skill cost out of here. Now the way that this all wraps together is going to be with the use of the trigger mod. With AJAX you can use the where is it, the battering ram trigger mod. Let me just sort my name because I am blind. You can use the battering ram trigger mod, and with this you can see when you do activate this, you can decrease the defense amount up to 25 and all the resistances. This is literally defense neutralization but inside of a trigger mod, and you can deploy it constantly with AJAX. This is insane. However, we're going to be pushing this concept all the way to the max. Let's talk about the other parts of this build. For the reactor, what you are going to want to do is go with cooldown on there as an essential, and then the second stat, it can be literally anything. Non-attribute, duration up, anything really works. You don't really bother with it. If you want to have the right type of reactor, maternalized mechanics reactor, and for the two stats in the middle, it's a non-attribute and a tech reactor, so that is something that you would want to be going with as well. Yeah, you don't even need to go with that, to be honest. You just need cooldown on here, and that's essentially it. As for the weapons, because I usually do throw them in before we get on into the external components, there's two choices. Weapon choice number one is going to be a Nizra's Devotion, and weapon choice number two is going to be a Python. I will give you an explanation and everything a little bit later, so just bear with me for now. Now, let's have a look at the external components. For the external components, as I mentioned, cooldown is very important, so we are immediately going to be going with a Hunter set for our build. For this, you want max HP on there and MP recovery out of combat. For the sensor, max MP and recovery in combat, and then you want max HP and defense on both of the external component cores. The more the defense, the better. We are using AJAX after all. Now for the two other comps, we're going to go with the Big Funny Blue set. We are going with the Moving Fortress set. This is again for defense, and with the defense on this as well as MP recovery modifier, we're going to have some good MP recovery with AJAX, and you also want to go with more max HP for survivability. Max shield recovery modifier would be good, or toxic resistance works fine as well. Next up, for the RK tuning. With the RK tuning tree, it's fairly simplistic. We're going to get a little bit of additional HP, and then after the HP, we're going all in with everything else. We are going to go this way for additional skill cost reduction, and then we're going to go all the way up to enhanced skill cooldown, because we want to spam cooldown with this. We also want to go with defense neutralization. This does work on the wall crasher, and this only works when the wall crasher has full HP, so basically just to nuke his shields. So this will double stack along with the battering ram, meaning you're going to be ripping him apart very, very fast when you do use Nizra's devotion with him. Defense neutralization plus battering ram and Nizra's is a complete defense strip of the wall crasher, the full 80% cap of him when you do when he does have his shields. So next up, let's quickly finish the rest of this tree off. So we are going to go down over here, and then we're going to go down to additional defense, and then you just want to grab this over here, and for the final one you can grab a little bit of power, a bit of HP. I'm going to go with some HP over here, so that is going to be essentially what you want. Now for the weapons, as I mentioned, we are using the Nizra's devotion specifically for its unique ability, which is the debuff. As for the modules on the Nizra's devotion, this is essentially the main modules you would want to run. So the main thing here is just that, you know, you're going to want to run as much reload time modifier on here to basically reload as fast as you can with this weapon, because we are going to be cycling it. And then you want a little bit of damage with the weak point, some additional rounds, some additional fire rate, and then over here, if you want to put any element on, I'm just going to chuck on fire enhancement and fire priority. There you go, we've got some additional damage. Then yeah, you don't even need them because we're just using it for the unique ability, but if you want to hit a little bit of additional damage, this is what you would run on your Nizra's devotion. Next up, let's have a look at the Python. So with the Python, sorry, I didn't show the devotion substats. This is the substats I've got on my devotion. The weak point damage is nice, fire rate is important, double sprint is whatever, and the substats on here are kind of whatever as well. Crit rate, crit damage are ideal. For the Python, this is what I've got on here as well. It is a multi-hit setup Python, primarily for like other content. However, in this instance, I am going to be using it in basically the same way. You just want to have max fire rate on here, or just fire rate, reload time modifier, and rounds. And then in this instance, I've added brisk walk on here as well, so this will allow me to basically be a little bit faster. And yeah, that's essentially what we've got on the Python. Now for the inversions to tie this build all together. The inversions also, well, they really do matter. With AJAX, these are the 3 inversions you are going to want to go with. Going with the ammo system is going to allow us to basically, you know, reload faster. When with the devotion, this is definitely going to help. With the Python, same story. If you want to replace the elemental damage with crit rate and crit damage modules, this would also help out as well. So that is another choice. However, this is important here because you can get additional defense, which will scale the battering ram, I believe, a little bit higher. And then for the third inversion, rolling defense, you know, a bit of HP or a bit of shield recovery whenever we roll. If you don't like that one, then you can definitely go with one of the MP ones. But yeah, I think the rolling defense one is fine for AJAX. Let me get on into the gameplay for AJAX and show you what Bossman here is capable of. Okay, so we've just spawned into a wall crasher. We've got 3 Serenas, and this is what we are essentially going to do with the wall crasher loop in terms of the gameplay. So we're just going to go in with a jump, roll back, and then shoot a weak point. We're going to jump, roll back, and shoot a weak point. We're going to jump, roll back, and shoot a weak point. This is essentially all that you actually need to do with this AJAX setup. It's fairly simplistic, and even one-shotting the weak point would technically be good. You just want to make sure that the token of devotion does activate. Once he does this, you're just going to want to jump and make sure you pop to the other side. Then you can just jump, wait for this, give it a second, jump again, roll back, hit the weak point, jump, roll back, hit the weak point, jump, roll back, and hit the weak point. This just means that this time you will no longer be activating defense neutralization when you do this after the HP bar, or sorry, after the shield is gone, but this will still be debuffing him regardless. So you want to absolutely make sure that you keep this up. It's not the fastest or the best debuff in the world, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely a potential way to play AJAX. Now you can see here, I'm just going to keep going, jump, and then roll backwards, and then hit the weak point, jump, roll backwards, hit the weak point. This is way number 1 of basically going through with AJAX. So this is definitely a capable setup and one of the ideal setups that you're going to want to use for AJAX. Okay, so let's go into run number 2 and show you the second way to play AJAX inside of this fight, and that is going to be with the Python. Now with the Python, it is not going to inflict the debuff as fast or as consistent as the Devotion. But the truth of the matter is, if you stack the debuff on the Python, especially in the later phases of the fight after the shield has gone, then you absolutely will be able to debuff even harder. Now, if you max out your Python debuff along with the defense neutralization and the other stuff with AJAX, then yes, you do completely 100% strip him all the way to the 80 defense cap on him. So you can absolutely strip him of everything using AJAX, but it's just significantly easier and significantly faster when you do it with something like, let's say for example, you know, the Devotion. It does work out a lot better with that weapon. You can see over here now defense neutralization will stop kicking in, and this would be where we essentially want to get rid of these guys. But you can see battering ram will still activate, so you just want to make sure you're doing your jumps over here. There you go, roll backwards, not forwards. And then with the Python, the more you shoot, the more the debuff kicks in. When you get your firing fiesta to activate, then just go all in with the debuff, because it does actually work faster. Make sure to slam in with a bit of that. See here, I'm out of ammo, so ammo can become a little bit of a constraint in this instance, but when that does happen, just go back to the Devotion in my opinion, and you'll be fine. Regardless, you've applied your debuffs, and with AJAX, you are a debuffing king. As I said, he's not as strong as Sharon, however the debuffs do go crazy. It's something that AJAX players can finally use and enjoy, and AJAX is not useless in the boss fight. I know Nexon really hyped AJAX up, but my boy's got a purpose. I'm not letting him go down like that.